From the Upco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is a Hudiburg Fantasy Football Update with Mike Baldwin. I'm Jenny Carlson. We're brought to you by Hudiburg. You can go to Hudiburg.com and buy your next new car during all the NFL action. All right, Mike, back on track. Who are those guys that might actually be getting going?
Well, we were talking about first-round picks that you got to sit them because they're just not playing well. It's a C.J. Spiller, it's a Trent Richardson. Well, guess who was back last week? Ray Rice. He looked like the old Ray Rice. 25 carries, 131 yards. Roddy White only had the one touchdown, a couple of catches, but he's been hurt all year long, looking like he finally might be ready. And then Steven Jackson. These are guys you're going to have a little bit of weight on. Do I start him, do I not? But he had a touchdown, and he looked like he might be closer to back on track.
Well, you mentioned Roddy White and injuries. There's a couple notable guys that probably are injured, maybe hospital ward guys this week.
Well, the Broncos, who had the big win over the Chiefs, they lose the tight end, Julius Thomas. He comes back in the game, but his knee injury, monitor that. Wes Welker has a concussion injury. You know how those go. Maybe a week later doesn't play. You got to monitor those closely. And you poor Aaron Rodgers owners, you were doing so well. We got one guy in one league just steamrolling through the league. Rodgers gets hurt. You were thinking he might be back this week. He won't be back this week. But it may be Thanksgiving. They got a Thanksgiving game. And so next week, you got to really monitor that.
All right, now let's talk about the sits, which the Kaepernick list has been expanded to the Kaepernick Richardson list, which means don't start Trent Richardson, don't start Colin Kaepernick. Who else is on the list?
Well, remember also that Roethlisberger threw 4 last week. So even Kaepernick and some of these guys, they're going to occasionally have big games. We're giving you this advice because 3 out of 4 they may not be good. Kaepernick threw 2, but he only threw for 123 yards, so he's still not on track. Well, one of them is RG3. It's just obvious that the Redskins are struggling. Most of his points are coming in garbage times, late in games. You can't even really count on that. They're playing the 49ers and their defense Monday night. That's not a good matchup. Lamar Miller in Miami sharing carries. They're not running the ball because of the 2 incognito offensive line situations. And then you got Andre Ellington, who's sharing time with Mendenhall in Arizona. Those 3 guys you got to sit right now.
Okay, got to take a flyer on who this week?
Last week, my proudest moment of the year. We told you take a flyer on Bobby Rainey, 50 points, 3 touchdowns. This guy's not going to be anywhere close to that. But Rod Streeter, the wide receiver for the Raiders, is starting to emerge. They've had a quarterback change. He might be a guy. You never know. If you want to take a flyer, won't be Bobby Rainey, but he might be good.
Hey, you never know. You didn't think Bobby Rainey was going to be Bobby Rainey.
I'm glad I got him.
All right, thanks, Mike. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.